that's our start point today. That's not actually start point, that's start point over there. But the beginning of our walk is halfway down Slapton Sands. So we've only got a couple of miles of trudging along the shingle. But an alpine descent is about to commence as my driving buddy drives. Hairpin bend coming up. Coach just come around the apex of the bend.
Driver being very careful because earlier on I nearly...
And it's obviously serious because it's a very rare moment in the driving pantheon with Andy with two hands on the wheel. This is a remarkable turn of events. Ooh, misses. Well, day 3 of our March 2022 trip down to South Devon. I'm stood at the moment on the north end of Slapton Sands at the beginning of our walk, which has been a bit compromised by a car park being closed. So we're going to have to redo about half a mile, maybe a mile of walking at some point, maybe later today, because we're going to start off from here and head northwards, up and over the cliffs behind. And our first major objective is Dartmouth. And at Dartmouth we cross the River Dart on a ferry and continue to a quite remote spot called Scabbacombe, where my car is currently parked. So glorious morning. I mean, we really are being completely spoilt by the weather, and I wouldn't surprise me today if a few people down on this particular beach have their baps and bits and jiggly wobbly bits all out on display, because this is a nudist or naturist beach. Big sign up saying, warning you about that by the bogs, and anybody who does it at this time of year is pretty brave, although it could get quite warm. It's actually pleasant, but you wouldn't want to be lying naked on this coarse sand, I don't think, really. Don't quite get it, but there we go. Anyway, on with the SWCP mighty walking. First climb done. Quite a steep one, zigzag path, lots of steps up to the small village of Street. Just approaching 10 a.m, so we're in good time today. Yesterday we hadn't started until effectively 11:45, so we've got a demanding day ahead of us, I think. The last demanding one of this sortie down to South Devon, getting up to 4,000 feet of ascent, which is a lot, according to the Ordnance Survey mapper. So we'll see. And some bloke looking at me thinking, what the fuck's he doing over there, talking to himself? I'm making a video. He's chopping down a tree. Well, we're just inland of Matthews Point and Jenny Cole's Cove. Intriguing names they are. And look at this sucker. It's absolutely vertical down to the tiny little brook at the bottom of this deeply V-shaped valley. So we go all the way down to the babbling brook. I need to bloody well have to go up the other side. But I mean, there's worse places to be, folks. It's the confounded bridge. Yeah, we should have a bridge across it. We're zip wire. So we're above the level of that little fir tree there. Flat top cedar. Probably got budgies nesting in it as I speak. Oh dear. Let's get on with it. Well, we're getting to the confounded bridge. Now looking at bloody Himalayan face in front of me of neatly cropped green sward with a sinuous muddy footpath. Nice and dry though, so it's got to be done. It's quite steep. Well, just outside Street, and we've done 2 climbs. Andrew's just finishing it. That's the second of the 2 climbs we've done, and that was a seriously steeply incised valley. You can just see the far side of the path dropping down to the right of that tree, and we've come up the other side. Victors. Shouldn't be too far to walk to Blackpool Sands now. Blackpool Sands, not the one of Lancashire. A privately owned beach apparently. Early season punters out there, probably a little cafe. Beautiful wooded cliffs, what's not to like? And the weather is just sublime. Well, the path that keeps on giving, mighty SWCP. We're just approaching the mouth of Dartmouth, the estuary. So it goes into the open waters. So getting close to Royal Naval College and other military matters. But what a stunning, stunning day. Just stunning. And it's March, the 21st, 22nd even, day after the equinox. Absolute crystal clear blue sky. Clear blue waters. To the right of that stone, which has probably got a name, the waters are much sandier in colour, so probably some treacherous sandbanks there. And a lot of these estuaries are very difficult navigation, but what an outstandingly handsome view we've got. Meg Rocks. Good old Meg, I say. That's the name of that rock. Well, after the amusement of Meg and her rocks, we headed up the estuary of the River Dart into Dartmouth itself, where we had a pleasant lunch sat overlooking the very attractive town of Dartmouth with its Royal Naval College and its strategic importance as a naval base. Back in the day, that was, of course. In short order, we boarded our ferry and crossed to Kingswear, another handsome, much smaller place on the eastern bank of the River Dart. Our walking from here on in livened up quite considerably. Wild, remote, once again, after we left Dartmouth behind and the river. We seemed to go repeatedly up and then straight back down again and then back up again through the defensive military complex round and about inner and outer Froward Point. Honestly think there's been some dyslexia at work here because it seems a very strange spelling to me. On we trudged. It was a long afternoon, it has to be said. This was hard work. This was our another day of walking. We'd done several hard days already, and this one was even tougher. And it was quite chilly too, despite the bright conditions. And we met a fellow solo walker doing the coast path, heading in the opposite direction. Alas, she'd mislaid her favourite water bottle. We promised we'd look out for it for her, but a little bit later on we realised if we had have found it, which we didn't, how on earth we would have got it to her. Never mind. It passed a bit of time and we trudged on. This was hard going, and it was a long old day, but what a magnificent stretch of coastline this is. You're not that far from anywhere really, but it feels pretty isolated. At times desolate perhaps, but beautiful. Afternoon walking fans, late afternoon, 5 o'clock. We were walking before 9:30, and this possibly, slightly unexpectedly, hardest day so far on the SWCP. partly because we've had three days of increasing severity. Yesterday was pretty hard. Sunday wasn't that bad, but had its ups and downs. But today has been a series, and I've just come down one now, of really steep descents, and then the same back up again. Lots of steps, which are really hard work. Exhilarating. Physically, this is really challenging for us. Andy has done astonishingly. Really motored along, showing little sign really of the impact of the recent dose of COVID. He says that feels his breathing every now and again, but bloody hell, so do I, and I've not had it. Really hard. Immensely rewarding to do. From here on in on this trip, tomorrow, the next couple of days, far less of a physical challenge, although there's still some stuff to do, I'm sure. But up on these rugged, quite remote South Devon cliffs between wherever we started, north end of Slapton Sands, and where we're due to finish very shortly, Scabbacombe. There's a final stinger in this bloody walk, which is a steep ascent of about half a mile, and maybe not that, back to the car. We're a little way off that, I think, although we're in a serious no service area, so getting my precise location on the GPS is a bit dodge. But I know we've got to cross a footbridge, that confounded bridge, and then take a left turn straight uphill. And SB57 gas will be awaiting. And I can tell you, despite how wonderful the day has been, a bloody welcome sight. So, up there in the top of the table of physical challenges so far on our SWCP experience, as we close in today on getting close to 200 miles tramped on this mighty coastal marathon footpath. Well, this is one of those signs that you can seriously say, you're not freaking kidding.